All right, welcome back. I know I said that I wasn't going to make this a mosaic blade, but I decided to move forward with it. I think it'll look pretty cool. We're trying to go for, we started off with like a random pattern, and we're going to try to keep going along with that theme. So it is going to be a mosaic pattern, but it's going to be completely random. I'm not going to look at the orientation once we get to that point when we do the four-way, and you'll see what I'm talking about once we get there. I'm just getting all the scale off, just ensuring there's no bad welds before I continue to draw this out. It'd be a real bummer if we drew this out to a lot skinnier square so we can do the four-way, and then there was bad welds. So it's nice to really, like I was telling you before, you want to do this in between each major step. So now it's prepped, so let's draw it out. Alright, so we're drawing this out into long square stock that's going to be 1 by 1 inch thick. We're going to cut it into 4 pieces, and then we're going to stack it and essentially make a bigger square and forge weld that together. Fuck. I am out of propane. But that's alright, we can get more. This is where we're at right now. So I got it drawn out into the 1 by 1 inch square. So before we get propane, let's go ahead and prep this thing and get it welded up so we can throw it in the forge once we refill that propane. So here it is, cut into 4 pieces. Now we got to true everything up, make sure everything is perfectly flat so that we have no seams in the welds that we make. Alright, and even though this is random pattern and we're not supposed to really look at it, I really just want to take a quick look at the, see what we're working with. I'm really loving how organic all of this is looking. Alright, so as I said before, I didn't look at the orientation. I just kind of mixed them up, welded them together however they fit best. Turns out that 2 fit really nice together, but they didn't quite fit as a pair into the 4-way. So I had to grind the center off and then so that they were perfectly flat to weld what you saw. Welded a handle on. All right, now let's heat it up. All right, so obviously, with fire coming out of the forge, that handle is super hot. So I always pour water on it first and wear a glove. It's one of the few times I'll actually wear a glove. All right, so one thing that's really important to notice here is whenever I do the initial weld, especially on a 4-way, I always do it really, really light. And I do this 2 or 3 times just to ensure that the weld is actually set. So we've already 4-wayed it once, right? So that's what you're seeing here. And what I'm doing is I'm essentially going right back and making it a 1 by 1 inch square. So we're compressing that, that pattern. And because we're going to cut it into 4 again, and then we're going to 4-way that. So it's going to make it a super wild pattern, and I'm really interested to see how that's going to look. Alright, so we got the 1 inch by 1 inch square stock drawn out. We have about half the material that we did, so instead of getting 4-inch pieces, we're going to get about 2-inch pieces. So let's cut this up into 4 pieces, and then we're going to stack it up again and weld it up. Alright, so let's take a look. Whoa, yeah, that looks awesome. It almost looks like some sort of crazy tribal fire or something. Really liking that. I can't wait to see that 4-way. It's going to be nuts. Alright, so I was actually able to get 2.5-inch pieces, thankfully, so we have a little bit more material than we thought. But now we got to go through that whole making sure everything's perfectly flat again. And the weird thing about my press is that actually when I'm pressing flat, especially doing square stock, it tends to like angle the steel for whatever reason. I don't understand why it does that, but this is what we got. So we got to try to make this fit together now. Alright, also I just want to address the welding that you've been seeing in my videos. The cup on my TIG welder broke. I stepped on it, so I just been arc welding with no cup, essentially with no gas. So I finally got that fixed. So now on this billet, and which I need it, the welds are really tight, so I'm pretty happy with that. So again, I'm just setting the welds right here. I'm going to do this 2 or 3 times to ensure that that forge weld is good. And as you saw, it was super leaned over to the side, and setting those welds really exacerbated that. So I had to kind of square it out or re-square it, which doesn't matter because it's a random pattern anyways. So now what I'm doing is I'm just ensuring that all those high spots are knocked down, and this is what we got. So now we got to cut off the ends and check out the pattern. So now I present to you Mosaic Fire. So the next step is going to be tiling this out so we can move this pattern that's in the center of the billet onto where the face of the blade is going to be. And that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one when we actually make this into a blade.